Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, or to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ivy, and today we are going to be picking out my August TBR. I do not typically do TBRs, but I have such a hard time picking what I want to read next, and I have a bad habit of picking like 5 different books and then starting them all and never finishing any of them. So I think because I have such a large physical TBR, it will help if I maybe narrow it down a little bit. This is my bookshelf. These are not separated. I think this is the first time, one of the first times I've had this in a video. These are not separated between what I have read and what I have not read. I would love to do that eventually, but I just don't have this space that kind of makes it make sense. This is our old TV stand actually. I'll just show you guys what it looks like. As you can see, that's where like the TV would went, and then there's like little cubby holes to decorate with. Hopefully I set you guys up okay. I wish I could have this set up where I have my like TBR versus my red, but like I said, this space just doesn't really make sense to have it set up that way until I get real bookshelves, which quite frankly I kind of like the way that this is looking right now. So we probably won't get new bookshelves for quite some time, just because I like the way that I have everything functioning right now on this. I just wish that you guys could get like a visual of when I pick out a prompt, like you could know which books I can pick from, but it is what it is. We are going to be picking the TBR with a TBR jar, which I'm so excited about. I have done this like for fun before, but I don't think I've ever done a video with the TBR jar. I've just done it like for my own fun, which if you don't have a YouTube channel, you can still do all the fun little YouTube trends, and I highly encourage you to do that because I feel like that's the most fun part, is just like doing the fun little trends. It's like half the fun of reading, I feel like. Anyway, I don't think Rachel Catherine was the original one that came up with this, but she's definitely the person that like I get all of my prompt inspiration from, and that I was inspired to do this by, just because I feel like she has been doing it. I think she's going on like 2 years of picking her TBR from the TBR prompts. So we are picking our August TBR. This is the last month that I have where I have a decent break from school. After August, I'm going to be in school pretty much all of the time. So honestly, after August, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to read like more than 2 books a month. I really hope so, but we will just see. So I think for August, we're gonna be kind of ambitious and pick 7 from the TBR jar, just because it's kind of like our last hurrah before I really have to kind of dial down and focus so much on school. I do have a couple of books on my radar, just because we are going to the beach. I feel like I have a couple books in mind for that. And I also kind of want to do Summerween, or like a Summerween themed reading vlog, but I am a chicken. I was actually just watching Bree's video, and she was talking about how she had to stop watching Criminal Minds because it was giving her so many things to be paranoid about, and I had that same exact experience. If you guys have been watching for a while, last year for like 3 solid months, every single night I would wake up at like 3 a.m. and be up all night thinking that someone's gonna break into my house. It was honestly so bad. Now that I'm talking about it, I can't believe I didn't go to the doctor and ask for medication, because I was not sleeping and I was fully convinced that someone was breaking into my house, and I fully blame it on Criminal Minds. Honestly, I truly do. I think I might dump these into a bigger jar because I just feel like I can't really get my hand in here. Okay, we settled on a mug because I wasn't liking the openings of any of our other jars. I actually just had a pickle jar the other day that I was like, I should save this for something, and now that I think about it, that would have been the perfect TBR jar because it has such a wide mouth. Okay, so we're picking 7 prompts. Prompt number 1, I'm honestly so scared because I feel like when I was writing these prompts down last night, they all kind of were bad. A Rachel Catherine wreck. Okay. I'm honestly so nervous because now I feel like I have to kind of dial down and like actually pick. Like I can't just like, I pull out books from my bookshelf that I want to read all the time, but like now I actually have to read these. I think I do know what I'm gonna go with though. I think for this one, I'm gonna pick Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I definitely heard Sarah Caroli talk about this first, but I do know that Rachel also loves it. I've heard her talk about it numerous times. I'm gonna keep this prompt out, that way we don't reuse it. I've heard her talk about it numerous times and I do really want to read it. And I saw that my library just got reckless. I can't have my hair in the front because then you can tell how bad my grow out is. I'm currently trying to grow out my hair. As you can see, I used to be a blonde. But anyway, I have seen her talk about this numerous times. I am excited to read it. I will say that I am kind of, I would say, more on the critical side when it comes to books that repeat tropes. I'm currently reading Fourth Wing, and I personally never saw that being compared to Divergent. My sister said that it got compared a lot to Divergent when it was getting super popular. And I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm reading Divergent. And this has been compared to The Hunger Games and Red Queen quite a bit. I have not read Red Queen, but I have read The Hunger Games. So I just feel like I'm kind of critical when I see things be repeated because, I mean, one, you don't want anybody's work stolen, and two, I just think I'm overall kind of more of a critical reader. Prompt number 2. A standalone fantasy. Okay, this is fun. Okay, so here are all of the books that I have that fit this prompt. I have Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I have 2 Olivia Blake books. This one's actually on KU right now, so that might be a good choice. One for My Enemy, Masters of Death, To Kill a Kingdom, and An Enchantment of Ravens, which I actually think already just showing them to you guys, I know the two that I'm debating between. I think these 2 are catching my eye the most. This one is a modern day fantasy that takes place in New York City between 2 rivaling witch covens, and I think this one has multiple romances in, which I feel like is kind of fun. And then this one is a Little Mermaid retelling. This is YA. Why can't I speak? You know what I need? I need my Diet Coke. This is my second Diet Coke of the day. It is 11 a.m. That's how you know she's not mentally doing very well. What do we think? This is kind of a hard pick. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with my gut and go with One for My Enemy. I just feel like this one's calling my name a little bit more than this one right now. I'm not gonna be picking any new releases or books that I don't physically own because I have a lot of books on my TBR. Okay, just pick one, Ivy. Just pick one. A book by an author on your physical TBR more than once. Okay, I like this prompt because it kind of narrows it down for me a little bit. So up here, let's just start at the top. I have 2 books by Talia Hibbert. I'm just gonna knock those right out. I don't feel like reading either of them. I have 2 by Emily Henry, 2 by Abby Jimenez. Those I've read, so those don't count. None of those, I don't think I own 2 more. Well, I do have Lynn Painter because I have Better Than the Movies and Mr. Wrong Number. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can see any of this. I have a couple by Allie Hazelwood. Ooh, I have 2 by Ashley Poston. I have Magnolia Parks, but I don't really feel like reading that. Kristen Hanna, Frederick Bachman, and then I do have a couple for the fantasies, but we already have 2 fantasies, so I feel like we should probably go ahead and pick. Ooh, I know what I want to pick. Okay, I completely forgot about Ellen Hilderbrand, which I probably own more books by her than anyone else because they are so easy to find at the thrift store for like $1. This is The Perfect Couple, and this has been on my radar. This has actually been a book that I have wanted to read like since I have got back into reading, which was over 2 years ago at this point, because it was like one of the first books that Haley Pham and Sarah Caroli read that got them back into reading. But why it's been like back on my radar is because the Netflix miniseries movie is coming out and I love the cast of it. I love the actors and the actresses that have been cast in it. So I'm very, very excited to read this. People say it's one of her best books. So excited to read that. I'm glad that I saw her, because I kind of forgot how many books I have by her. Okay, prompt number 4. A Destiny Said Wow fave. Wow, this is crazy that I got 2 of these. My mind immediately comes to Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, The 7-Year Slip. I could do Binding 13. Are there any down here that I feel like she has really talked about? Okay, I think I'm probably gonna go with, I don't really want to read Binding 13. When I wrote that prompt, That's kind of what I was thinking for that prompt, but I think I would rather read either one of Emily Henry or Abby Jimenez's books or The 7-Year Slip. For some reason, The 7-Year Slip is just doesn't really sound like what I want to read right now. I don't know. I've really been wanting to read Love in Other Words. That was one of the books that I was hoping I could get a prompt to fit for. But I feel like if I pick this, I'm not going to want to read Love in Other Words 2. And I don't have any romance, so I could pick Part of Your World. Or Life's Too Short. You know what? Let's pick. I think we are just going to go with Life's Too Short because I DNF'd the Friend Zone. I was so close to DNFing the Happily Ever After playlist. When I thrifted this, I didn't realize it was the third in the trilogy. And honestly, I was kind of irritated that I didn't do a little bit more research because the Friend Zone and the Happy Ever After playlist are so interconnected. I could not finish the Friend Zone. The main girl in it bothered me so bad. Her whole personality was, I eat pizza, and I don't know why other girls drink green juice. I like beer. Like, her whole personality was, I'm not like other girls. I could not stand it. And then a huge part in the Happily Ever After playlist is like half of the Friend Zone book. So they're so interconnected. The Happily Ever After playlist, I loved the first half, and then I felt like the pacing and the plot was just like this. Like, it had no idea what it was doing. I don't think this one is barely connected. I don't even recognize the names on the back of it. Like, I don't know how they're connected to the other two couples. So I probably could have read this one by itself all along, and I just never did. I'm getting kind of scared because I have 4 books already. I only have 3 more to pick, and I have a couple books sitting over here that I was really, really hoping I could get to fit a prompt, which, I mean, maybe I could read more than 7 this month, but I feel like that is quite a few books already. A book you've already started. I can get this to fit one of the books over here. So the books that I have pulled out over here, I was thinking of taking these to the beach. Love in Other Words, I have not read yet. I know I'm so behind. My sister has the old cover, and if the old cover was this cover, I would have bought it by now. I love it. Then this one is not giving beach at all, but I bought it at the beach. So for some reason, I feel like I need to read it at the beach. And then this one, I don't really want to read at the beach, but they're making it into a Netflix show, I think. So I have been wanting to read it. I will say though, if I want to do Summerween, I could pick my best friend's Exorcism, because I have started that before and I have started this one before. So they would both fit the prompt. And that one would also be a good beach read. I just don't know if I think I can like make time. Like, if I realistically have the time to film and plan and do a Summerween video. So I think I'm just gonna call it safe and put on A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Okay, we have 5 books. We have 2 more to pick. What does this prompt say? A book with a pink cover. Oh my word. The universe is looking out for me. I will say I do kind of want to read Meet Me at the Lake, which I could have also picked for Started before. I wish I wouldn't have taken my bookmark out of here because I think I was all but 50% through this. I just got the hold for the audiobook for this one, and I do want to read it because I bought it. I just really did not love it when I read it the first time. Maybe I should pick this one instead of this one. Realistically, this one is like one of those books that you bring on vacation that you know you're not going to read, but like, what if you don't bring it and you decide you do want to read it? So should I pick this one instead? You know what? I think we're going to originally go with this one because since I already have the audiobook and I'm filming quite early, it'll probably be better to like try to read this in June and keep this one for August. So we have one more book to pick. And we did leave room for Love in Other Words, but I will say if that's the one we pick, it's not going to be too fun to pick our next book because we'll know exactly what we're picking. Okay, a book with a cursive title. Let's see, does this have a cursive title? No. I got this prompt from another YouTuber. I can't think of it now, but I thought it was such a creative prompt because I feel like when I pick the prompt, I immediately can think of a book that fits it. Like, oh, I can pick that. This one, I feel like you really kind of have to dive into your bookshelf and see what you can pick. Love Theoretically kind of could fit By a Thread, but I don't really want to read By a Thread right now. Let's see over here. Oh, the last thing he told me is in cursive. Ooh, maybe Firefly Lane. That's not super cursive though. Is that kind of cheating? I feel like, can you guys see that? I feel like that could kind of be cheating. I mean, I guess I'm the one picking them, but I feel like that's kind of cursive, but not super cursive. Paris is always a good idea. The Party Crashers. Ooh, this is a contender. I'm sorry, I know you guys can't see me. Maybe we'll have to think of a better setup for our next TBR video. You know what, I think I'm just gonna go with the Party Crasher. I feel like this would be a great book to take to the beach. It's really, really short. I mean, it's like 350 pages, but as you can tell, the book's quite little and the font is a decent size, so I feel like it's not gonna take me as long to read this as like a 350 page book, and it's by the same author who wrote Confessions of a Shopaholic. So let's do a little roundup. We have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. So we have our TBR. We have a Rachel Reed's recommendation. We have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. A standalone fantasy. We have One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. This I'm actually so excited for. I'm really glad I ended up deciding on that one. Then we have author that is on your TBR more than once. We have The Perfect Couple by Elan Hildebrand. This will definitely be going to the beach with me. Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm kind of confused on why I picked this. I think just because I feel like the whole point of making the prompts picked is picking books that maybe I kind of forget about. But who knows, maybe I'll love this book. And it is on Kindle, so it will be a great one for like the ride down to the beach or the ride back home, because I can't really read physical books, but I don't typically mind reading on my tablet. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Very excited for this one. I feel like this one will be perfect for when I'm out of school and I can binge a book in a day. The prompt for this one was a book you've already started. So that's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. A book with a pink cover. We picked Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. Definitely taking this one to the beach. So excited for that. And then our last one was a book with a cursive title, and we picked The Party Crasher. I believe this is about a girl whose dad gets remarried and she doesn't get invited to the wedding and she crashes it, which I just think sounds so fun. And the main character's name is Effie. I love the name Effie. Me and my sister are both obsessed with that name. And I've never read anything by this author, but she has so many books and they all seem like they are funny, kind of like coming of age, but in your like 20s, like finding yourself in your 20s stories. And I'm assuming this will have a little romance because I think Confessions of a Shopaholic does. But she actually has a page of her books in here, I think. Literally, she has so many books. I don't even think that's half of them. But she's popping the books out. So this is, I know I have so many books stacked on here. It's kind of making it a little bit confusing. I just have to put the books in like some type of order, or else I think that it looks like an ugly stack of books. So this is the TBR for August. I probably will film a beach reading vlog, hopefully. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for my July wrap up. Like I said, I'm filming this early. We're currently halfway through July and I have not finished a single book, but I'm in the middle of probably, not exaggerating, 10. So maybe my July wrap up will have 10 books on it. Maybe it will have none. Who knows? But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, especially if you got to the end of this video. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.